lenses to me. I mean, the endless choices and, learning about various characteristics. I mean, that could be, a life obsession. So, we are surrounded with these creative people that are artists and into technology, which all of us are, and it's a beautiful combination. And so I just get excited walking, and I'm getting chills, down the streets of Warner Brothers with all the history here. And, that just always inspires me to see what people are cooking up and finding. I mean, I just don't know how anybody's going to stay in business, but we're trying. And, so that's the big obsession with, the gear. And again, the storytelling we've been talking about. So, life, that's why they have the psychology degree. I was obsessed with human behavior. And it continues, and it's really good, as we know, to have that kind of training in human behavior and the understanding of other people's quirks. Because believe me, everybody in our business has something going on that got the obsession going. So it's good to be kind to everybody's paths. So.
I think actually to kind of go to that, actually my obsession right now is filters. I love filters, and I know you're in post-production, but right now I'm on a show we have flashback sequences, and I've been playing around with streak filters and old school star filters. I think they're amazing, and to try to build that, again, it is part of storytelling, and the fact that I think filtration also is something that sometimes you can create in the post, kind of the process, but ultimately being able to have all of these different effect filters. And actually George introduced me a long time ago to the Radiant Softs, which is Grape Schneider diffusion filter. I've been playing around with Black Glimmer Glass, which is a Tiffin filter as well. But it's all, again, that's what, all of these things kind of make me excited, that there is so many tools in our tool belt and how we can use them. And I've been introducing filters to my team and telling them like why I want to use this one filter. Like right now we're going in between Radiant Softs and Black Glimmer Glass, and it's all based on emotion right now. And I think my crew has gotten it, but it is a little bit kind of haphazard too. But I tell them, I'm like, today is a Radiant Soft day because of this and this and this. And tomorrow is a Black Glimmer Glass 1 day. And I tell them exactly why, and that's my obsession right now.
For me, it's, the special effects are amazing. The stuff you can do is spectacular. I love all the tools that you have at the back end, of course, for us. But, I mean, what we're talking about here is something that is the stuff that you do in camera that I love. A bokeh, yes, but so depth of field and shooting with 6K is spectacular. Having a large format to have an optical effect. I did a show called Queen Charlotte, and we had 2 different times frames, and I wanted the past to look different than the present. And so I wanted to do it optically. I wanted to do it with lenses, and I found it was a Cook special flare or something like that. It was anamorphic, so we were still 2 to 1. We weren't using the full width, but to get that in camera, there's nothing better, I think, than to have something that's, I hate to use the word organic, I want to say maybe analog, something that is there in that comes from nature, that's actually a part of that process, rather than the idea that you can maybe do some of this in post, yes, but I really crave that sort of natural quality.
Real quick, for me, it's shooting on location where the story takes place. My very first film was set in Rio de Janeiro, and there's nothing better than to be there, capture, smell, feel all the texture, rather than being in Bratislava and trying to turn that into Anaheim. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. we answered or didn't. Hi, what's your name? And
Hello, thank you. My name is Ingrid Sanchez. I'm a DP based in LA. I just wanted to thank you all, once again, for being here. I find so much inspiration from this. And like Michael Goy actually was at UCLA teaching, and last year there's so many other AAC members, and I just think that it's like, I just want to say thank you, and what you're doing is really great, and it brings a lot of inspiration to many of us. But anyway, my passion is my twin sister.
is she here?
No. But I'll go home to her soon. But anyway, I kind of want to just kind of bring the question more specifically to you, Edu, because when I saw Passing, I really, really, really loved the film, and I thought the cinematography was just mind-blowing, and then I kind of have been internet stalking you ever since. But I was curious about maybe the testing processes that you've been through, what they went through in Passing, because for one, the fact I'm very interested in skin tone and lighting skin tone, and I think that doing like the whole idea about the film about a black person passing is interesting to me. I also thought it was interesting that it seemed like you used anamorphic lenses and then did 4x3, and I was like, what testing process got you to that? And if you brought it out to a broader question, like what are some of the like anecdotes maybe of testings that you're like, wow, I'm so glad I did this particular test that like shaped something cool in your films?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, when doing Passing, we had this kind of very tiny movie, and we had no studio or any big producer, production company supporting us, so they let us do what we wanted in a way, and that level of freedom, it's also, a bit of what let us go into testing with our minds open, and suddenly we're like, oh, we want, the movie was going to be 4:3 black and white from the get-go, and Rebecca was very clear about that. And then we're looking, because one of my obsessions is texture, and I was looking for something that will give me a palette that a texture that I haven't seen, but it's period, but it's also kind of contemporary. And I kind of ran out of ideas on spherical lenses, and at some point, like, what if we go with the most weird anamorphic lenses that I know of, that are the Lomo anamorphics, and we crop them to 4:3. And what it was crazy is that it's 1/7K in this day and age that people are obsessed about the 6 and the 8 and Ks, and it's not a film, and no, it was 1/7, and we looked at it in the big screen, and I was like, oh, we love it. We don't need more than this, and it also gave it that kind of lo-fi information that it was probably needed. And it's rare when you find a film that the cinematography is basic on telling of the story in a way like Passing. Has never happened to me, so it was kind of a gift, that we receive a movie like this. But also, it's like, so we went on the Lomo anamorphics, we cropped them in 4:3, and yeah, the funny thing is also that that Netflix, who has the request of 4K, they bought the movie,
Okay.
and they show it in 1/7K,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you go into testing, you test a lot of lenses, and then you go weirder and weirder, and you add, and the more you fuck it out, we put filters and we put grain, and like we screw it up, and that's what it also kind of gave it that texture and a personality that's what we're looking for. But at the end of the day, it's like it's so beautiful when you're telling the story with the images and with the tools that you have. It's kind of what we all dream of.
It's a Catalan thing. Thank you. Hi.
Hello. My name is Maximiliano Ponte, focus photo by day, cinematographer at night.